Well, salutations, everybody. What's a crack-a-lackin' on the beginning of another fine week? Well, I should say fine, but I'm a United fan, so at the same point in time, this isn't a fine week. This is a horrible week. But I suppose where United IRL are crap, the Craic, can bring them to hopefully an element of glory. We haven't been doing too bad in this particular run of the game thus far, so let's continue to go with it and see how things will end up going. We have a match versus Nottingham Forest coming up now. We shall see how that ends up going. Trying a change in the formation a bit, going with a bit more of an aeroplane than anything else to see how that will end up treating itself. And then the wings end up coming back even more to look more like a fighter jet than an aeroplane. So the aeroplane fighter jet, let's see how that does. Alternatively, good friend of the chat that we were with in the online save, Senior Stewart, gave me this one, which isn't too bad, but we're going to continue to try with the tree at the back for a moment and see how that continues to go on. With all that being said, on this fine 12th of January, we're already almost halfway through the January period. What's a crack-a-lackin' with you? How is life treating you? It's a pleasure to have you in, Senior Duck, and the fabulous, oh my God, it's Katie. How is life treating you? I'm not surprised you're giving me the old poke about the fact that we ended up being caved straight out of the FA Cup. And to be honest, I'm not surprised it happened either. I like Darren Fletcher. I don't think Darren Fletcher is bad in his management style or anything like that. But at the end of the day, that was to be expected. And every time he comes to United, Danny Welbeck ends up whooping our ass 10 shades to Sunday. This is the lowest amount of games Manchester United has had in a season since 1951. Yeah, it's horrible how low that is. And what's worse is it's not going to get any better. The club is all but confirmed Michael Carrick is on his way in as the interim, which is fine. And he's trying to bring in his training staff, his coaching staff from Middlesbrough, which will help him a bit. It's just interesting how I turned around and I said on the stream when Ruben Amorim was sacked and when Enzo Maresca was sacked, and I said January will be a busy month. And I suspected there would be one more big sacking. Now, I suspected that one more big sacking would be Arne Slot, not Xabi Alonso. Real Madrid are a bunch of tits. A bunch of tits. I'm sorry, you've given in to player power. Have fun to that one. Matty, my friend, what is a crack-a-lackin'? I am all willing to hear how your FM save is going. Please marinate me with all the information you end up having. I'm in a good mood because I ended up watching a bit of Monday Night Raw as it's in Germany, so it's on at a semi-decent time, and I wish I was there simply because they had pyro. Katie, there are many things I could say to you saying, sorry you had to choose this streamer. But I suppose the only thing I can truly say is
off is a direction you can fuck.
They work so well together. Maddie, I'm not going to use it again. So you can use the opposite direction for the only thing being that you want to suffer in United pain as I do. It's sad too because like the really, really, really annoying thing about that Brighton game is Shea Lacey didn't deserve that red card, and for the second game in a row, Benjamin Sesko let go of some of his chances, and you'd almost think Diego Dalot at this point is purposely missing open nets, considering he's done it for 4 managers. He's done it on 4 managers near their sacking, now I know Fletcher isn't getting sacked, but like, you know, he's done it for 4 managers where he's had an open goal and missed it. Like, you know, there does come a point when you question it. At least you were talking amongst yourselves about your bellow middling. I don't know what that's meant to mean, Senior Duck, but I leave you to it. But I suppose right now we have a match versus Nottingham Forest, and not just Nottingham Forest, Sean Dyche's Nottingham Forest. And because I am a fan of Dyche, wouldn't it be just typical for Dyche to come and wallop my ass 10 shades to Sunday? We shall see as we end up going into this. But we're not going to make any major changes. Sesko up front, Bruno as an actual 10, Manu and Decat in the midfield with Dogu and Ahmad, Stellar in the defensive midfield position with Zabrani, De Ligt, Yoro and Lemens. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Duckhead. Remove that D, remove that U with an I, and I think we're accurate there, Katie. If Arsenal win the FA Cup, we're winning 2 cups this year at least. If we don't win the League Cup, we win Sweet FA. I know I've said it before, but I still stand by it. Although this is... Actually, it isn't the best. It isn't the best Arsenal side we've seen in the past 5 years either, which is the funny thing about it. But this is the best chance Arsenal are going to end up having to win trophies or to end up winning the league. And they don't have a lick of fear factor in them. They don't have a lick of fear factor in them. And that's Arsenal's problem. Even right now, I know it was a 10-0 win against oh God, who was it they were against? I posted it into the chat. Even though it was a 10-0 win, City, and I know that doesn't end up meaning much, but City felt dangerous and feel dangerous whenever you end up getting there. Arsenal just don't feel dangerous. Yeah, they can score a goal against anyone due to their set-piece excellence, but they just don't feel dangerous, and it's an unfortunate problem for Arsenal to end up having. But let's see and hope they can end up getting through it. I started a new FM Safe unemployed. Got a job with Paranathesis in 1932 in the Italian Serie C. We are doing pretty good. One game I want to speak of in particular is playing the Inter Milan's under-23. We were down 5-1, 20 minutes left, came back, scored 2 goals, stoppage time, tied the game 5-5. What a comeback. Brilliant. And like, is that the name of the club? That the club has 1932 in it? Or did you download a retro save that managed to have 1990 or 1932? Yeah, that's what I figured. Walt, my friend, what is a crack-a-lackin'? You are a gent and a scholar for coming in. If you haven't, please give Walt a follow. Unbelievable streamer, a multitude of communities and the whole lot. All incredibly friendly whenever you go in to say hello to him. Has been playing a phenomenal bunch of games in the last wee while. Whenever I've been in there, I've been enjoying it. His GTA RP bits, the Arc Raider bits, genuinely recommend you give him a follow. A gent, a scholar, and and host of the two best pets known to man, Johnson & Johnson. The Johnsons. And I'll let you guess what type of pets Johnson & Johnson are. Because they're mascots. And if Walt isn't careful, I'm going to rob Johnson & Johnson and use them as emotes myself. In the season before they hired me, they finished one position above relegation. I now have them in third place, and I'm loving it right now. Well, congratulations to hear that, Maddie. What's the ultimate goal? Do you think you'll stick with them and go up the ranks if a better opportunity ends up coming in and someone ends up coming for you? Do you think you might hopscotch a bit? Are you going to travel the world a bit in this particular save? What is the idea? As I finally end up starting one of these matches. And 20 minutes in them as well, too. But yes, it's all a good bit of crack. But genuinely, in terms of regular football news, I knew it was in the windpipes. I know that the grapevines have been tweeting and twittering, and the quicksand has been beneath his feet. But I genuinely think it's a mistake for Real Madrid to have sacked Xavi Alonso. It's also funny the way that perspective ends up changing stuff too, because Xavi had won 24 games in 36, and his loss in the Copa del Rey is what got him sacked. Losing to Barcelona 3 times in the season will do that to you anyway, but the loss in the Copa del Rey is what got him sacked. And that's a very good win rate percentage. But what an awful lot of people tend to forget is the Spanish league is a 4-man race, if even a 4-man race. You're Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid. That's about it. As much as this is grand-nosing and perpetuating elements of grandeur that probably don't exist there, the Premier League is more than that. So I love the comparison people were putting down there, that it was 24 wins in 64 games for Amron, where it was 24 games in 32 for Xavi, and he was sacked. So, you know. Up you lie, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Your words of kindness and stating that I am a stud are quite well received. Also, just as another lovely aside in the world of IRL football, the fact that one of the potential targets that United were meant to be looking at in this particular window was Conor Gallagher, who I actually think is a fairly good player, and I never really understood why Chelsea sold him. But the fact that he's available for 32 million sterling, 40 million euros, and Spurs are potentially going in for him, allows me to just go... But to be fair, we all know the answer to that question, the Glazers. Yes, I shall allow you, my friend. I mean, let's be fair. Michael Carrick isn't the worst of them. His time at Middlesbrough wasn't that bad. He got into a bad rut of things after a number of his players ended up going. So he done an okay job there. It is commonly known that during Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's time in United, that it was Michael Carrick and Kieran McKenna who were in charge of the training sessions, and Solskjaer was literally just a man manager. He was barely involved in the training of the team at all. So he was a manager, not a coach. Michael can do both, even though the heavy rumor is that McKenna was the grounds that laid the foundation of that one. I don't know up if he's a yes man. He's definitely less of a yes man than Ollie. If he was a yes man, he wouldn't have left, is the only thing I would end up stating. But at the end of the day, he is the clean answer club legend that he can put in there, and it gets everyone shutting up. The Glazers end up coming in. I'd say it's their worst nightmare that his first two matches are against City and Arsenal. But if you manage to get a win against either the two of them, and nobody will give a crap about what anybody says. At the end of the day, the man I would have put in if you wanted to do the club legend route that at least could get a bit of gumption out of the players would be Roy Keane. But as was stated before, Sir Alex Ferguson still has power in that club, and the two of them still have bonnet up each other's arses. So, that was never going to end up happening, sadly. Maybe, Maddie. I've had this discussion before, and it's not to state in any way, shape, or form that I think that the Glazers are good owners. I don't. Or that Ineos are good owners. I don't. Because I don't think what they'd done with Amarin was right. Back him until the end of the season, even though he called out on you and go that way. But when it comes down to Ineos, I don't think it's as black and white as people turn around stating either. We've done our upgrades to the training facilities. We've done our upgrades to the recruitment stage. We're currently in the process of doing upgrades to the medical team. There's a lot of players there that shouldn't be there. I am one of his fans, but Delo shouldn't be there. Luke Shaw shouldn't be there. Harry Maguire shouldn't be there. If the rumors are true and what's being said, Manu shouldn't be there, but that's a big if. If that was any competent player other than Delo, we had equalised there. Yeah, Lacey had sent himself off, but we had equalised there and we would have gotten through. I still, and this might be the eternal optimist in me, I still think the United situation isn't as bad as it looks. That team is a better team than the way that it is playing. Amarim was an idiot and dyed his cast on Bruno being a midfielder. There's a reason he went with a back five. Brighton is the reason why he went with a back five. With a back four, we're too weak. We concede too much. I like Clemens, but the worst thing this club ever did was sell David De Gea without having someone to come in who could take his place straight away. So we'll see what ends up happening. Yeah. It's an interesting situation. Up. Punk versus Balor. It's annoying. It's going to be another DQ finish. It's just a matter of who does the DQ. Is it going to be Dominic who does the DQ, or is it going to be Braun who does the DQ? I'm not sure which. Honestly, I'm so done with United. I didn't even watch the Brighton game. I'm just so burnt out these past 10 years. It's always the same crap every year. I can understand it. That's why I'm not arguing with you. Anyone who ends up feeling that way, I understand it completely. I think there's more hope in the pipeline than there should be, but I'm also an incredible optimistic pessimist, as you've known watching me there. I despise Southgate with a passion. There are a couple of managers that have to come in. I'm just not supporting them. That's one of them. So up, my apologies, but you deserve this.
Off is a direction you can fuck.
No, so far we haven't been doing good in this game. 30 minutes in. Sells the good goalkeeper though, so we have to keep an eye on that. Oh, they've scored. Holy crap. I forgot how much this game likes to absolutely screw you in
It's a
the hole.
direction you can fuck.
I mean, yes, you are never here. That is a fair statement, Katie, but you also managed to cause them to score, so, you know, I shall take ups off and direct it towards you. Yeah, they've done a number of fixes on the game. The offside glitch is no longer still in the game. One of the only glitches that's still there is if you get a red card, the player still doesn't go off of the pitch. There's still half an icon over the edge of the bloody parapet. But in general, it's not that bad. I mean, I am a twat, but I happily admit I'm a twat. To be frank, you're not wrong with both those statements there, Katie. I feel that both of my lead mods are being particularly, what's the word I'm looking for, dickish today. I'm half tempted to time both of them out. But I'm also not near that much of a care. Oh, you're right, Maddie. You're right, Maddie. I won't time them out. But, you know, I will. The only reason why I won't time them out is because it costs me effort to bother to put them back into being a mod. and as we have determined before, I am a notoriously lazy prick. And thankfully, timing out a VIP doesn't remove their VIP status, but timing out a mod does. Yeah. This is sheer laziness. This is sheer crack laziness and nothing else. And we need to make an actual substitution. Stellar isn't playing his game properly, so Stellar needs to come off for... Wait, Ugarte? I was going to say, for Ugarte. Manu isn't performing great either, so... God, I don't want to do this, but screw it. Do that. I think Dogu needs to come off for Mbwemu, and let's hope that gets us something out of them. Katie, don't be using your own name in vain. What do you mean, oh my god? Ooh. Oh, hold on. Dinner has been mentioned. So I expect an image tomorrow, or you will get a 24-hour ban the next time you show up. But what is happening with your dinner, my friend? Shit. I may have run into an issue. Ahmad needs to go there. Buemo needs to go there. Bruno needs to go there. You need to go there. You need to go there. The cat hasn't been great, so you for Rashford. We're going to try this. Next time you show up, you will have forgotten the 2 weeks. Up, 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 up. There's one thing you forget, my dear friend. There's one thing you forget. Sorry. No, hold on. I am a notoriously petty bastard. And as a notoriously petty bastard, I never forget. Anyway, I was in the corner of the room and hearing you say that had me in stitches. Slow cooked beef casserole, roast potatoes, and Yorkshire pudding. That sounds epic, Katie. Oh, that's going to be awesome. Make sure to enjoy that. I hope you have a nice gravy made out of the beef juice. It's the one thing I've always wanted to get good at that I've never been able to do, which is actually condensifying the broth of a meal into actually, having something good within it. I've tried it before and I've never been able to get it, much to my incredible annoyance. Oh, come on, please. Good, we got a goal. Whew. I was worried about it for a second. Oh, no. No! Oh, he's miles outside. Miles offside. Bitch, I could be Indiana Jones if they paid me. I mean, Harrison Ford is Irish as well. If Sean Connery can become James Bond, I could become Indiana Jones. I mean, I won't. I'm not sexy enough for it, or fit enough, or have the connections, or have the capability to act. But next Deadpool. This is gonna end as a draw, isn't it? Useless bunch of bastards. Nothing more wonderful when that ends up happening. Funnily enough, it will be interesting to see what ends up happening with Deadpool in Avengers Doomsday. Because the rumor at the moment is that there's going to be a Deadpool team and there's going to be a Wolverine team, and the two of them are going to meet in the middle at some point in time. Are you happy with yourself, Duck? Do you feel proud? Even my breathing is being harmonized on this goddamn thing. Oh yeah, I forgot we had no chance of winning this goddamn league. It's wonderful when you end up watching all of everything else go absolutely wonderful, like the under-18s dominating because they're using their gameplay that you're doing. Everything else goes categorically shite. But at least we know that via the product of a voice modifier, I could join a singing group. What do you mean, Times New Roman? Why, did something happen with Senior Roman Reigns? Kurt, my friend, what is a crack-a-lacking with you? Is it all going good? Is it all going grand? Is it all going sexy? How is your Monday treating you? Kurt, another streamer getting up in the world there, started doing some FIFA content. He's been doing streaming for a bit there, but genuinely has his own FIFA team, clubs team going on at the moment in Division 2, even though he should be in Division 1, but for some reason it's in Division 2, and I don't understand the dynamics of why that fucking happened. But you can end up listening to him and finding out why the club's organisation decided to be dicks to him.
How's that a foul? How's he not offside?
Oh, this clip.
How's he scored? Fucking that! How is he scored?
At least you know, he's level-headed. You know, he doesn't lose his
Why
head.
is he kicked off? I wasn't fucking ready. Why is he kicked off? I wasn't ready. Why is he kicked off?
You know, I might end up having to make that into the new... I might need to replace this.
Off is a direction you can fuck.
With, why did it kick off? But anyway, it's wonderful when you can end up having a bit of crack like that end up coming up. But it's good when people are able to end up getting you some good clips and everything ends up coming through well. Hey, at least you won it, my friend. At least you won it. Ooh, we got some okay. We got some okay intakers. I mean, to be fair, Kurt has always been the person that has bothered his arse to set up the network save whenever I've done it with the lads. I could do it, but I'm also a lazy bastard. As we have determined earlier on me neglectfully deciding not to time out my petulant moderators because I was too lazy to bother to make them moderators again after. So, you know... my laziness knows no bounds. Yeah, I'll be back into that chat at some point in time. If I end up getting time, I'll end up coming into it again. Just been very busy, you know yourself. Yeah, it's also, by the way, it's interesting to know how legit rumors are, but the Conor Gallagher fucking situation seems to be building up steam. King, my friend, what is a crack-a-lackin'? Another epic streamer, the bald menace himself. Absolutely fantastic streamer, does an awful lot of horror-based comment or content. Whenever I've watched him doing Phasmophobia, he's the only person that hasn't managed to make me go to sleep. Genuinely, please give King a follow if you can. A gent, a scholar, fantastic streamer, and good friend of the chat. Good friend of the crack. Never mind the chat. But yes, definitely recommend it. He hasn't gone yet. Kurt, he isn't. It's a deal has been put in. Atletico Madrid have accepted it, but it hasn't been confirmed yet that the deal is 100% true. So we'll see what ends up happening there. If the deal ends up going through, then yes, he'll end up being a Spurs player. And to be honest, that's a very, 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 very good signing for Spurs. As alternatives for João Paulina, it'll be a very good signing for him. It's annoying. I would have liked him for that money. Specifically for that money, I would have liked him at United. 40 million quid is piss cheap for a player of that quality at that age, because he is only 26, I think. But yes. If you like Phasmophobia, Kurt, please give King a follow. Epic streamer, does it all the time, and genuinely makes it a good bit of crack whenever he does. It's not one of the things I particularly like watching myself most of the time. Because unless you're experiencing the ambiance properly through your headphones and all, and I'm sure everyone knows this, and when the ambiance doesn't come through your headphones properly, it just doesn't connect with you as much. But, you know, when you have a fantastic streamer making the crack out of it and the whole lot, it makes it so much better, and King definitely does that, especially with the people that he's on with. It's your main game. Taking a bit of a break from Phas lately, though, and I've been playing Hogwarts, Cyberpunk, and Rivals. I need to get back into Rivals. I don't know why I've been having this issue with Marvel Rivals, but I have this weird issue with the game where the loading times for me are just a bit cattywampus, and sometimes I'll have issues getting into the game. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough for it to be a pain in the arse. So hopefully, I'll be able to get into it a bit. Cyberpunk is a game I never got into. Even though I respect the crap out of CD Projekt Red for all of the stuff that happened with Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk got screwed in multiple ways. The story of Cyberpunk is a story that everyone needs to know about. CD Projekt Red got screwed in Cyberpunk because they were overly ambitious when it came down to that game. And their ambition ended up biting them in the ass, and they needed to delay the game. And they delayed the game 3 times, and the delays subjugated themselves into the game being delayed for a year. Problem with that is they over-egged the pudding on every bit of advertisement they had done on it, and the crew was literally getting death threats, to the point that the CD Projekt Red office was literally sent bomb threats. Boxes containing glitter bombs were sent to the CD Projekt Red office, and there was the actual threat of bombs to the actual houses of the people that worked there, as well as everything else. So, unfortunately, it was a complete and utter clusterfuck. Now, to be fair to CD Projekt Red, kind of like the Rainbow Six Siege devs, they continued at it and worked as best as they could to attempt to make that game as good as possible. And right now, it is a wonderful game. It's fantastic DLC and the whole lot. Definitely worth a showcase for anyone to end up going and having a go with. Definitely recommend it. And to be fair, even the likes of Keanu Reeves ended up coming in and done more lines and the whole lot for them for that game. Like, everyone that has worked on that game loved it with passion beyond belief. There's even a Total Biscuit reference in it if you're able to find it. I don't know where it is, but genuinely, I love the development of that game beyond reproach, and I hope the same shite doesn't happen with Witcher 4. I'm not a fan of Ciri being the main character of Witcher 4, but I hope it comes out good and CD Projekt Red aren't put through the same shite that they had to go through with Cyberpunk. It was a too advanced game for the time it came out, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they were far too ambitious. I got it right when it came out, and it was so sad because it was like damn near destroying my PC to run it, and I didn't touch the game for 5 years after. Ooh, it's even worse than that, King, because I think... I'm going to check this up. Give me 1 second. Cyberpunk 2027 came out on December 10th, 2020. No, okay, I'm wrong, because there was another game release that came out within 6 months of that was big enough that also ended up having massive issues with its launch. I was thinking Arkham Knight, but that was 5 years beforehand. You know, time ends up coming together so bad now you don't bloody know. Again, my only issue with Ciri being the main character of The Witcher 4 is you nuked your endings in The Witcher 3, and I don't like when games give you multiple endings and then definitively give one of the endings as an ending, unless they're very obviously bad endings. You know, like there are loads of games where there are multiple endings and then there is the obvious ending. But in this case, it means that every single ending is wrong but one. And I don't like how much they changed her design. I'll be an ass on this one. I think she looks absolutely fine in The Witcher 4. I think she looks absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with the design. But it's just so much different from the Ciri that we see, the Ciri that we've seen in 3. And, like, I know she's more grown up. I know it's 5-6 years later, so she would look more mature and all that. But I just... I'm a complainer. Hope you feel happy, because I really didn't need to do this. Anyway, but yes, and then Hogwarts Legacy is beyond interesting. And Hogwarts Legacy is beyond interesting because of the rumors that have been going on and about the back end of Warner Brothers games development. So, if you don't know about it, Warner Brothers were working on Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. And if you don't know about that game, it's the driveling shites. But what ended up happening with that game is they knew immediately that that game wasn't going to get anywhere, that nothing was going to end up happening with it. As a result of which, after the second DLC was released for that game, all of that team was taken off of the game, and they were on a paper scratch team for the rest of the 2 expansions of that game before it ended up shutting down. The rumor was that all of the people that were on that team were moved over to do a Game of the Year definitive edition of Hogwarts Legacy and to work on Hogwarts Legacy 2. So we'll see what ends up happening. The Game of the Year edition that was rumored to be ending up happening was basically going to have an expansion pack that was going to add about 25% extra into the game. That was the rumor. I haven't checked on that rumor since, because it was an interesting rumor and I like the idea of it. But they've done a fantastic job with the Hogwarts Legacy feel and vibe and the whole lot to it. And, you know, it would make me want a proper Wizarding World game set away from Hogwarts, if I'm honest. 2 is still being developed, King. But it's being developed by a different branch of Warner Brothers. So, yes, Avalanche Studios is the offshoot that is creating the game. So Warner Brothers, it's a subsidiary of Warner Brothers Games, but everyone who is in that team now is from the team that was on Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. They worked on a lot of shovelware, but to be fair, they were the main principal team that worked on Hogwarts Legacy. So the main principal team that worked on Hogwarts Legacy, Warner Brothers Studios ended up helping with them as well. So the fact that all of those people are down there helps. Kinda. You see, here's the problem with Warner Brothers Games. Warner Brothers Games is in a particularly sticky wicket in that Warner Brothers as a whole is getting sold. At the moment, and as I'm sure you've heard yourself, King, the most likely suitor to purchase Warner Brothers is Netflix. Now, the divisions of how that's being cut apart doesn't inherently tell you whether or not that deal includes Warner Brothers Games. It more than likely shouldn't, but Netflix has just done a major expansion on Netflix games. So it wouldn't be surprising if Netflix bought that division specifically for Netflix games. And keep in mind, Netflix games just announced the new studio to create the new FIFA game. So Netflix are investing in the games division. So it wouldn't be without the realm of possibility that Netflix doesn't purchase, Netflix just goes and purchases the games division off of Warner Brothers whilst purchasing the movies. So don't be shocked if they just wrap into Netflix games. Didn't Paramount make a stink about it, saying that Netflix is doing some crap and make sure no one else could buy it? So it's one of those weird situations where Paramount wanted to put in a bid, and they were basically told no. They were basically told no because they were in mid-negotiations with Netflix. Then, because it's a publicly traded company, Netflix put in the bid. And Paramount decided, you know what, fuck this, and put in their own bid greater than the Netflix bid. So currently, it's being jumped around the fact that Paramount offered more money. Now, because it's a publicly traded company, you have to, for the sake of the investors, go with the project that can lead to the greatest possible monetary sum for the investors, not the greatest possible outcome for the actual IPs themselves. There are ways around this, and we know there are ways around this because WWE did it with TKO. WWE ended up selling to TKO before, I think it was CBS, were able to put in the bid because they had given CBS all of the information, but only a week to determine the offer. There are ways to get around whatever you want to do, should you want to do it. So, with that being the case, there's not really much that Paramount can do to stop the deal, and it's pretty much confirmed that Netflix are going to get it. Now, there are other elements that could cause it to have a scraggle in the middle of it, because there's a big worry in Hollywood about the deal. Why? Because Hollywood is worried, and honestly, rightfully so, that what will end up happening is Netflix will end up releasing movies in theaters just to get into the traditional award contendership. What that will end up meaning is effectively it will kill cinemas. That's what Hollywood is worried about. The problem with that, too, is Hollywood doesn't give a shit about cinemas. So, it's literally, a white knight with a double-edged sword. They don't give a shit about cinemas. But that is the principal argument they're using for why this deal is bad, In terms of Netflix, I'm not mad about them doing it either. It literally is a IP bid. That's it. All they want is the IPs. They don't want anything else about it. They're literally going to take the IPs and rip the fucker to shreds. The biggest problem with this deal is a lot of people are going to end up losing their jobs, and it causes a monopoly system in the development of North American films. Other than Disney, Warner Brothers are Ubisoft. Warner Brothers are the only proper competition. Ubisoft are competition, and it's funny that I have to say, Ubisoft, because this year Disney made 6.8 billion quid in movies. Warner Brothers made 4.8 billion quid, which was their closest competitor. It took Disney having $3 million movies in December to end up doing that. $1 billion movies in December to get that record. Warner Brothers were going to win if it wasn't for Lilo and Stitch, Avatar, and Zootopia. But Paramount, I think it is Paramount. Yeah, Paramount are behind them then at 3.6 billion. But they're not proper competition. They just released anything that they fucking could, and hey, it worked, But, what can you do? I think it was Paramount anyway. It's one of them anyway. You get what I'm on about. The joys of having most of the information but forgetting the key integral factors, like one of the names of the major studios that release fucking movies this year. Yes, you're damn right. Warner Brothers Games has always been a mess, unfortunately. Warner Brothers Games has always has fallen to a nasty problem that, unfortunately, it's the CD Projekt Red problem, and the Rockstar problem, where you've released damn near perfection, and everyone is going to hold you up to it. Warner Brothers released Arkham Asylum, then Arkham City, and everything since, unfortunately, has been lesser. There's not really much anyone can do about that, considering Arkham Asylum and Arkham City are damn near perfect games. Yeah, we can comment on Arkham City and the amount of extra shite it has that it doesn't need. But in terms of story, graphics, physics for the time, it was a damn near perfect game. So, they like all of them, they unfortunately had the sword of Damocles above their head. It's just in Warner Brothers' case, it fucking fell. Unlike CD Projekt Red, whose sword fell, but luckily enough, they were able to, build the fucker back up. John Eustace is part of Aston Villa. That's an interesting signing. John Eustace is the manager of Villa. Huh. Who would have bet that one? Where did Unai Emery go? Or was he sacked? He was indeed. Makes sense. Not a chance in hell, but you're as well try. Yeah, figured. Also, time for me to get my ass handed to me versus Liverpool. We're going to change our system considering the last one didn't work, and we're going to try Stewart's system. I mean, we should be fine with this. Victor, I would put Victor in, but he's injured. Julian, we have him back. I suppose Julian for Konya. And he has scored more goals. So for now, well, Evan's the better player, I suppose. Evan Ferguson up front. Yeah, screw it. We'll go with this. Okay. We'll chance around with this system, see if it ends up working for us. It should do. Let's go up against Liverpool and hope we do okay. So wish us a bit of luck as we go into this particular conquest now versus the mighty Liverpool. I might end up needing it. Like, in my opinion, when it comes down to Warner Brothers games, they were in an okay trajectory until Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League just became live service games far too late into the cycle of live service games being acceptable. What ended up happening, Senior Duck? I know that there's still bugs with it should you try to look at the women's squad, even though it's gotten better about it and tries to implement a makeshift women's squad, if you get me. But what ended up happening with you, because I haven't tried it in a while, mainly because this game is still buggy, and I kind of don't want to touch it. I haven't, Matty. And again, the reason for me is because streaming-wise, specifically streaming-wise, the game can lag a bit for me. Whether or not that's my system and I have some unfortunate elements done to it, I don't want to take the risk. I have heard a couple of people try it, and it's worked for them, but it's still in the process at the moment, and there are a number of unfortunate bugs occurring with it, but in general it seems to be fine. Oh, so basically transferring over the save got you sacked. Is that it, Duck? I know that's annoying, but since you own the... considering you own the editor, just put yourself back. Competition. Oh, Oceania. Europe. Ah, okay, it added a number of the competitions in twice. Interesting. Weird. Okay. Interesting. But is that a situation of you going lower down than the base database allows you? I've never done that. We've talked about this before, Doc. I've never gone down low into the underbellies of the leagues. I've never gone to the likes of tier 10 or anything like that. So interesting that that's happening. I tried it. I deleted it after a week, to be honest. It's super cool, I won't lie, but the amount of bugs that are in the compared to the bugs still in 21, I don't need more bugs. Yeah, that's the thing about it, but they're still working on it daily, which is the good thing about it. So that's where I don't want to be too cruel to it, and I definitely streaming. Not that I have enough people for it to influence fucking anyone, but I don't want to give a bad representation of fantastic work done by enthusiastic fans of the games in order to, belittle their work. I wouldn't want to do that. It isn't fair on them, if you get me. Japan tier 4, 5, or 6, and depending what league the team I want to end up in season 2. Okay. Starting tier 5, not a bad idea. Again, depending on how all of this ends up feeling, I might yet still do the unemployment save. It's just the game, the launch of the game, kind of like an awful lot of people that do FM content, has left me a bit. I just want to do what I enjoy, and although it's boring, I enjoy the United save at the moment. So I'll just continue with it for the moment. I'm a creature of extreme habit. So in order to ensure this particular setup ends up working, we need to get a good young right back, because we have Saba, who will become a good left back in the future, is for specifically if we want this system to work. But yeah, I would start with everything loaded and just go. Japan doesn't schedule fixtures in season 2 when loaded in season 1. Try that sentence again, Duck. I'm not 100% sure what you're trying to say there. I would go with everything loaded and go, but Japan doesn't schedule fixtures in season 2 when loaded in season 1. I don't get what that bit of it means. It doesn't load fixtures in season 2 when loaded in season 1. I'm sorry, I don't get that bit of it. In what way does it not load them? But adding it later works. I know this is ignorance on my part, but this is probably an ignorance of me not knowing how the intricacies of the game ends up working. But how have you been finding it yourself, Maddie, since you've been playing it? Have you been enjoying the FM game? I enjoy the game. There's certain things about it that ruffle my jimmies, for lack of a better word. Shite. When I start the save in Japan, it doesn't generate fixtures from season 2, but if I start with Japan not loaded, then loaded in fixes later, it's an issue with the database I'm using. Okay. Weird. Very, very weird. But fair enough. Thanks for explaining that to me. I could have sworn we had that off. I've been enjoying it, definitely. Still a few bugs I'm not happy about, but there aren't anything game-breaking. I've been liking it, especially through the new save. I still have a number of unresponsive moments in it. It's not the worst. It's nothing to bloody make you angry or anything like that. But this is where my pessimism comes into play. I'm not willing to give Sports Interactive the pass. I'm not willing to give them the pass, specifically because of what they promised, and this isn't to me, specifically to me. Other people will have different opinions to what I end up feeling on this one. Specifically to me, this isn't enough of an upgrade to warrant the year. Still. And that's an argument we'll have on here till death comes home. I know Benny would argue till the cows come home with me on that one. But it's just, maybe it's the contrarian in me. Okay, well, they're destroying us at the moment, so what can we do? Going down the flanks doesn't seem to be working, so I guess try to go in the middle and go more direct, make the width narrower, and see if that works for us. Yeah, because Ahmad is getting destroyed. Frimpong is... Oh, why did you do that? Oh, well, Bruno was offside anyway. Never mind. They said they could have released in March last year. I can't imagine what state the game would have been in then if it was in November. My God, it would have been horrible. Honestly, I think it probably would have been much the same. Much the same, if I'm honest. Because I don't think there's that much of a difference in this game from FM24. I know it's a brand new... I've had this discussion before. How does that offside? Fuck off. No, I need this one explained to me. How is this one offside? Where's the offside? Give me the fucking line if you're going to give me an offside showcase. Anyway, yeah, as I've said before, you know what? I'm half tempted to just stop doing TikTok. Because it's just the biggest pain in the arse and I'm not getting anything off it. In fact, I'm not just half tempted. I'm going to stop doing it because, fuck it, it's adding pressure to my system and I don't need it. Considering they keep fucking restricting me. Go on. Annoying pillock. Anyways. Yeah, that's Craic being annoyed. Anyway, we're 1-0 up against Liverpool. Me being annoyed gave us an own goal, which is happy, I suppose. I'm also not going to make any other substitutes considering we're playing okay. I know that's probably a mistake, but, you know, screw it. Is this going to come back to bite me in the arse? No, thankfully not. Yet. I hate long balls with a passion. Rashford. Oh, Dogu, you chancy fucker. To do that pass to Willie Kumbala and not be sure that it's going to end up making it is chancy. Not sure why games adding players to view-only leagues. Weird. Again, I've never messed with it, so I can't comment on it. But it's a nice little win for us there. Now, 1.4 million. Oh, you're bonkers. The fact that you have it so bloody high elemented anyway, 1.4 million people could end up being built into it is bonkers in of itself, Duck. Ooh, okay, we have 7 games left. We've 7 games left. We're 4 points behind Liverpool, who we just won against. It's still possible to win the league. It is insanely unlikely. Insanely unlikely. But it could be something that ends up happening. A holiday until the 15th of January. Been doing it since early afternoon. Still 2 months. I don't know. Like, to be honest, Doc, with you, that means diddly squat. And the reason why I say that means diddly squat is because you have come in here before and told me of how you have set up a save and waited 4 days for the save to construct itself. So you turning around stating that something is taking too long means diddly squat to me, considering I don't have a proper reference for how too long is for you. I'd like to, mind you, but I just don't. Anyways, we did deserve it. Rasmus is playing, which is good. Okay. Well, our changes at halftime worked for us, even if it was an own goals game. Senny Lamans was our best player. Okay. Okay. We won in the under-21 Cup against Nottingham Forest. Cool. Euro is injured. I hope. Oh God, for a while. Okay, we'll get him the physio. The 4 days were to download the graphics. I mean, that doesn't surprise me, Duck, but I'm just stating throughout a fact, you and time, when it comes down to Football Manager and the amount of time you're willing to bloody implement into it, means that you turning around complaining about bloody time is just, you know. Okay, our next game is the FA Cup. I despise going on holiday for these. Which is the reason why I'm not going to do it. Screw it. Oh, you poor bastards. I don't know why you watch me. I genuinely have no idea why the hell you watch me. It has to be one of the most boring developments in the world if you're actually interested in what's happening in the save. That's exciting for me, but it has to be fucking horrible for you. I'm just going to say yes. Fuck off. Why care about someone with 2-star potential? I swear his name changes every single game. The spelling of this guy's name. Wrench. Because in Ajax, I used to nick him from Ajax back in the day. Because he was a very good player, Wrench. But like, I swear the spelling of that first name changes every single game. We're not talking about Gareth Rivia's horse here, Matty. Don't be so crude. But it stops achievements if you holiday more than 50 days in a season. Really? Well, fuck that. That's, again, another thing I never knew. Yeah, but then again, you, Doc, you insane so-and-so ended up watching me do 11 seasons of the FM24 save at this pace. So you know how things end up going with me. It's just because of Europe and the whole lot with this is one of the reasons why this goes so bloody long. And that's even with FM26's sped up transitions. Well, supposed sped up transitions. Ooh, Paul Mitchell. As in the former sports director Paul Mitchell is going as a scout. That's interesting. If only we could sell him. It's a shame, though. He's walking for free. Yeah, that's what I thought. What if a team bought me in January, but I didn't have a game until August and I holiday until the end of March? Does it stop my achievements? Senior Duck, we need your help. I think it's specifically for each individual season that you're in, Matty. But as I said, I didn't do it, so I couldn't comment. I know it probably wouldn't have changed things, but it is funny to think that at one particular point in time, United had the choice and the ability to go for Hansi Flick. You'd wonder if if he came, would it have made any difference? Considering we were looking at him around the time when Amron ended up coming in. We just signed Amron permanent instead of waiting until the summer like a bunch of tits. But hey, what can you do with a drunken sailor? If he's here, it means he's probably part of the shortlist, but might as well have a look. No, I don't think any manager will make a difference at this point. It won't really matter. I genuinely don't agree. I know I have no reason to think. I know in theory it shouldn't really matter, but I genuinely don't agree. And the reason I don't agree is simply this. Mourinho would have succeeded with that United squad if the United board weren't such a bunch of assholes on removing the players that he wanted. Never mind getting him the players that he wanted. If we just removed the fucking players that he wanted, it would have made such a difference, in my opinion. The fact that we refused to do that screwed things for Mourinho. So in my opinion, if, and I could be 100% wrong on this could be me smoking the copium. In my opinion, if we got a top manager, and he came in and implemented things correctly, with the players that we have at the moment, if he was allowed to get rid of the players that he wanted to get rid of and get the players that he wanted to end up getting, I think it would end up working. In Amarin's case, the only player that Amarin wanted that he didn't get was Ollie Watkins. A big poke, but at the end of the day, Brian Mbeumo and Matthias Cunha were meant to be the difference factor whilst Sesko got into his feet. Is Sesko the right profile of player? That's a different conversation. That's a very different conversation. But that, in my opinion, is what happened there. I think a very, very, very good manager will make all of the difference, personally. But I can understand the doom and gloom, especially considering how doom and gloom everything has been up until now. Anyways. Also, by the way, for those of you that haven't been here for a hot minute watching my FM streams, yes, I'm going to go down under every single one of these players, and the ones that I haven't scouted, I'm going to scout. So this could take a good 5 to 20 minutes. They could be getting relegated. I don't think he has a relegation clause, does he? He does. We shall be keeping an eye on that. It's a fucking hefty bastard. But we'll be keeping an eye on that. That's okay. I've had to do that yesterday with my save, looking for the cheap free players. Oh yeah, yeah. Although fuck, all of these are cheap. To be honest, for the most part, this next gen is a complete waste of time. But I like doing it all the same. It's one of the things of the game I really don't get. I really don't get the development of youngsters. There have been times where I've had youngsters that develop like beyond reproach. You would never in your life see players better in the development that they've ended up doing. But I don't know how to develop them. I bought a player for 3.5k. What a bargain! Well, if it was a good deal, I mean, I don't know the deal. I don't know how good he was in comparison to the rest of your squad. In theory, it sounds like a squad. Fucking words, Craic. In theory, it sounds like a good deal. There we go, person whose English is your first goddamn language. Sorry, not first language, your only goddamn language. You could be interesting, my child. Villa, Everton, Fulham. Borussia Dortmund. If he doesn't go to Dortmund, he's a fucking idiot. Do I? Fuck! I wish, Maddie. I have sweet FA in Irish. I wish I did. I hated it. I hated it as a child. I hated language. But I hated, let's be fair, I hated all language. Not just that. I despise language with a passion. I despised any attempt to get good at learning languages. I wish it was different. I wish it wasn't that case. I wish I wasn't that much of a tit and was actually able to be somewhat competent in my language capabilities. But I just never was. Like, I have elements of Irish. If you spoke it, wow, okay. Yeah, you might genuinely have to be assigning you some good potential build-up attributes. I mean, you haven't done good so far in the Bundesliga 2 when you've been in it, but still. I've been conned, bamboozled, duped, and speckeldorfed. Speckeldorfed? Why did you get speckeldorfed? You do sound like a bloody phrase out of an Oliver Twist book. Like you're speaking to the Oompa Loompas like you're speaking to the Oompa Loompas in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Weird movies too, the 3 versions of that. English is a tough language to learn if it isn't your first language. Well, it's commonly referred to as the toughest language to learn if it isn't your first language. Because of all of the differentiations that are in it and eccentricities that make it slightly more difficult to end up learning. There are more ways in the English language to say random shite than there is in any other language. And then dialect differences and euphemisms make it incredibly hard to continue on in that way as well. Like, an example of where English becomes a pain in the arse is the word crack. The fact that I use the word crack and someone else will use the word crack, and someone else will use the word crack, and all 3 versions of that word crack can be used in a sentence in the same way and differentiated completely differently, makes the language a pain in the arse. I found the crack right there at the wall. I found the crack right there at the wall. And then I found the crack right there at the wall. And in all 3 of those ways there, you will understand that all 3 of them meant something entirely different. And if you enjoyed the 4th one, shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. And, of course, if you're better than me and figured out that I said that there was 3 of them and told you to be shamed on the 4th one because I'm a tit, I let you have your own dispersions on my sensibilities. Well, I'm happy, Matty, that you've found your crack. And whenever you're willing to come through and listen to me and have the crack alongside me, the crack will always be there for you, my friend. I might end up doing a couple of shorter streams throughout the week as well, like a 10 until 11 stream. So a stream that will only be an hour long, which would be me picking up something completely different, like setting up just the random crack screen like this, so not having my own independent screen, literally just going, and going with this and putting on something like Dead Cells or Persona or something like that and do a 1 hour stream. Considering on Tuesdays and Thursdays I do boxing, and unfortunately my time restraints have ended up hitting it, and if I don't continue to do this, I'll let it continue to water down the line and I'll just stop, and I really don't want to do that because I enjoy this. Who knows, if I ever find a partner, then things will end up changing as well, but that's, future Craic's problem. Sorry. That sounds like an Ed, Edd and Eddy spin-off if I've ever seen one. Ed, Edd and Eddy's a fantastic show. Absolutely fantastic show. And the thing about Ed, Edd and Eddy that's so bloody cool is the fact that in Ed, Edd and Eddy, Ed talks about his brother throughout the entirety of that show with reverence and superiority and a level of respect that is spectacular. And to find out in the last episode of the series that Ed's brother is a complete fucking prick who treats him like crap and isn't worthy of Ed's respect and honor. It's done so beautifully that I think it makes the whole show, you know, a testament to the way that it's written and the whole lot, and the fact that it's a bit much to say, an abused brother, but close to it, shown the wrong way. Okay, so we have Crystal Palace in the FA Cup next, where we will play a slightly weaker team and see how things end up going. Ooh. Yeah, I'll need to look at these scouting reports to give me people with the wrong. They're giving me people with the wrong attributes. Okay, I know. Continue on for now. Ryan Sharkey being the best attacking player in the league. Why doesn't that surprise me? And City being the best. Well, they are winning, so it makes sense. Do we have him? No. Huh. Youth contract, but we're not able to rob him for free. The joys of the youth contract being interesting. Spurs clash with Brighton. Kulusevski to one of the Saudi clubs, Al Ittihad, for 111 million quid is absolutely insane. I steadied form, kinda. I'm guessing that means you're the game is loading properly or you're playing correctly. How I went from this. Wow. Happy out. What bloody formation are you using on that, my friend? Congratulations on it working for you. Yes, we can continue on. Don't want to comment. Don't want to comment. He's not going to be back anytime soon. He knows how he needs to do. Well, even if we wanted to, I don't think we can get him, can we? Even if we wanted him, I don't think we can get him, can we? Maybe we can. Well, I'll ask. I don't think we have any buyback clause that works over the clubs. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, and his wages are too much. So I wouldn't be getting him. Anyway, I've played a few games since this, by the way. What do you mean you don't know the tactic? How do you not know the tactic? You're using the goddamn tactic. Doesn't help my staff sold 8 first-teamers outside of a transfer window. How does that work? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Crystal Palace have Gareth Southgate. Crikey, let's hope I don't lose to the tit. Yeah, yeah, I'm guessing you went from good to bad, is it? Because I thought you went the other way around. So I misinterpreted. I misinterpreted what you were stating. Let's do this for the moment. Interesting. Interesting choices. So I'm going to need to change it up a wee bit more than that. So as much as I'd like to choose Hardy, we do actually need a somewhat decent performance out of this. Kwambwala, yes. Sexton, fine, we'll try it. Thomas, I'd love to, but he's... I don't want to be too weak. Go and choose Mazraoui to back. Let's hope that's okay. The Cat and Mount. I think you have to go Manu. I think you have to. I like Ricardo, but Ricardo is definitely not the option here. Ferguson there. Shawade is tired. Camrada, we'll try Camrada in it, but let's hope that it's okay. Koulibaly there. Ruch isn't 100% fit yet. We could put Bandero, but I don't think that's right. I think you have to go Ahmad. And you definitely don't go Sesko. You definitely don't go Sesko. Who do we put out on the left? Yeah, based on these, the best bet is probably Barbosa. I think. Nope. Potential. I'm wrong on his potential. Fine. Fine. Check. I mean, you could go with Chabaze, but he's too tired. Hardy's there. You are the choice, but again, you're not there. Okay, then with that being the case, Brian Mbeumo over there. Bruno Fernandes definitely on the bench over Cunha because he's tired. I might regret this, but I think this is the team I'm going to go with. We're going to go lighter than definitely lighter than I should. But I also think it's the kind of game where you have to, be fair to everyone that's there, give chances where you can. So, let's go into this and see how we do. Crystal Palace, FA Cup, weak-ish squad. Weak enough squad, but we should be fairly okay with it. We're using the Stewart formation because the other one just doesn't seem to be connecting properly. It's a wee bit too inconsistent. It can score goals, but it's horribly inconsistent when it comes down to defending. So I think we go with this and see how things end up going. So once she loads now, we end up going into this and hope that everything ends up working correctly. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh. They've gone full strength. They have gone full strength. I have the worry, legitimately, that I might be taking a loss to Garrett Southgate. Yeah. Yeah. I'm fucked. Oh, I'm screwed. I'm completely screwed. I genuinely wasn't expecting Crystal Palace to come full power against us. And their manager at the moment is Garrett Southgate. So sadly, Matty, I might be getting a loss to Sir Garrett Southgate. It's a distinct possibility. Considering we've went weaker, there's a bunch of youths in this team that shouldn't be in it, and that happens. Goal. Horrible goal. Oh, that's the second one this game. I know it's 1-on-1 with the keeper, but for Christ's sake. Of all the goals to concede. Okay. Do we have any hope in this game? At the moment, no. They're going to power through us. I probably should make a load of changes, but I don't think there's any point in making it just yet. Goal. Fuck! Well, that changes. That decides my hand. That unfortunately decides my hand. We have to get something out of this. Potentially. For losing to Garrett Southgate, I'd sack me. And of course, Dean Henderson is going to have his typical United masterclass performance too. Goal. Ooh, I'm shocked Pino didn't score that. Holy crap, guys. Okay, so we need to change this around again. Go more direct, go wider, and hope that that works. Okay. Saba to Willie. Willie to Delict. Delict to Mazraoui. To Ahmad. To Bruno. To Ahmad. What the fuck are you at, Ahmad? The fuck are you at? Like, pass the ball for... oh, my God. I have a bad feeling we are fucked. But let's hope. Let's hope. Mazraoui to Ahmad to Ducat and Dean Henderson. Henderson. Henderson is going to have the game of his life, isn't he? What happened, Senior Duck? Willie to Ducat. Ducat to Bruno. Mazraoui. And again, Henderson. Henderson. Bloody king of fucking Old Trafford, isn't he? To be Ducat. Understandable, yeah. Come on, surely we can get back into this. We definitely should do. We've been dominating them this half. If only Dean Henderson wasn't being prime Buffon. Joys of their back line being bloody unbelievable. Nothing I can do about it. Let's try this. Come on, please. Get something out of them. Wider. Come on. Fuck off, game. Pause you since the game is going to be a dick. Delict, Ahmad. Who was that to? What is the ghost of fucking Sheba's past there? What the hell are you doing? Oh, that's hilarious. That's absolutely hilarious. That's insane. That's insane. A bloody tapping and you fucking miss it, Ferguson. To Garrett fucking Southgate. Oh my God. It was my fault for going weaker. I should have known. I should have known. I should have fucking known. I should have known. My own fault. Anyway, my friends, as much as it annoys me, I actually have to finish up there for the night. I have a couple of things I need to get done. So I know that this is a bit of a shorter stream than normal, only about 2 hours. But thank you all so much for coming in. Yeah, it feels that way. I'm going to send you over to the king himself. He'll be talking in Dutch, but as you know, we ended up having a stream last week on Wednesday with Peak. So I'm going to send you over to Kicker since he's live. Just give him an old crack addicts attack when you end up going in. And until the next time, my friends, make sure your crack is 90. And remember, I have been Stupid Sexy Crack. Make sure your crack is 90 to 90 to 90. remember in life that...
Shut up.
Don't you forget! You ain't won yet! Because I never win. And until then, Shlongaful and Pogue Mahone, my friends. Adios.